You're listening to the Superman Super Show, episode 53, The Life Insurance Con. Con! No, not that kind of con. Hello and welcome to the Superman Super Show. I'm a host. My name is Ed, and 1,000 miles over there to my left is another host, Mr. Steven Orr.
Hello.
I talked about the things that I wanted to talk about, so I got nothing.
I don't know if I have any banter.
I got nothing. We should have held up talking about your shirt, your Batman shirt, and insert it here. You cut it. You should cut it and then insert it here. And
the following banter was previously recorded.
Yes, pre-recorded banter. Enter here.
Yeah. You know, I will say this. My wife is a huge fan of the Avatar movie. And I like it. It's a good movie. I've seen it a couple times.
Blue people?
Yeah, the blue guys. Yep.
Okay.
But she just freaking loves it. And we were going to go see it in the theater, the second one when it came out in the theater recently, and then we just never got around to it. And so it just became available digitally on Tuesday last week. So I bought it. And I told her, I said, let's watch it. And we still haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. So, but I'm caught up on The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you've heard about who was in this last episode.
No.
Had a couple of guest stars, which I'm sure a lot of people hated because
I heard something happened, but I didn't pursue it to see what we haven't watched any of this season yet. So I don't care.
Jack Black and Lizzo.
Okay.
And Christopher Lloyd. And I thought it was a fun episode. It was a lot of fun. It's one of those episodes that's like, the first part of the episode, is part of the main story. And then there's this stuff in the middle. And then the end of the episode continues. It's one of those. It
brings it back.
It's very much like almost like a Law and Order episode almost, because the Mandalorian and another character are on this planet that Jack Black's character and Lizzo's character kind of run, and they need their help to solve something that's been happening. And it's, there's even a moment where they're chasing somebody down the street and the moment in all those shows where they go and talk to the doctor, the autopsy doctor, and they're looking over the body and if you look, they even had one of those moments. It was great. But I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh man, they're putting just stunt casting and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm sure that is part of it. But at the same time, if I'm a Jack Black or I'm a Lizzo and I'm a big Star Wars fan, if I got a chance to be in a freaking Star Wars show, I'm going to be in a Star Wars show. That's, what's her name? Ming-Na Wen?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's like a huge Star Wars super fan. And
okay.
So for her to be in the show is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's played a X-Wing pilot in a couple of the Mandalorian episodes. He's an Asian guy. He was in the show Kim's Convenience. Apparently he's a big Star Wars fan.
Okay.
And the TIE fighter outfit that he wore, he made that himself. So
that's a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I honestly don't really have a lot of problem with casting like that. Especially if it's a fill-in episode that's fun,
Along those same lines, people who are Star Trek fans need to go back and look at the spot appearances of people in the first run of movies, not the Pine movies, but this dude was a guard and this chick was a Klingon, and you're like, well, I had no idea. Well, but the point is, they can say they were in a Star Trek movie.
Exactly.
The point isn't for you to recognize them. They don't care about that. They just want to be able to say, I was in Star Trek 3.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd played a Klingon in one of those movies.
Yes. So, there you go. And now he's been in Star Wars.
That's right.
He's got them both going there.
It's like, not only was I Doc Brown.
But on his own, it's like, you've got your third IP there that's big and huge with that franchise.
I'm not caught up with the Bad Batch. Do you watch any of the animated Star Wars stuff?
No.
I dig them. I had started. I remember a couple of years back, I started watching the Clone Wars,
Mhm.
And I remember right away, I was like, this is dumb. I mean, it's made for kids,
Right.
but I just kept watching and it just got better and better and better. And there's an episode where one of the Jedi is trapped in an escape pod floating in space after their ship gets destroyed. He's in this escape pod with some of the clone troopers. And these droids, the bad guys, are basically, because they can go out in space,
Mhm.
they're going around to the different escape pods and cracking them open. And the clone troopers are just floating out in space. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so dark. Just all these clone troopers, they're just killing, just not even like pew pew up, got him.
Nope.
They're literally shoving them into the vacuum of space to die, in a horrible fashion. And it's, at that point I was like, okay, this may not necessarily be for kids, because that's pretty dark.
Yeah. That's close to not for kids. So
yeah, but the Bad Batch has been kind of fun. The guy who does those, Dave Filoni, he's almost like, because he also produces with Jon Favreau the Mandalorian.
Okay.
So he's almost like the George Lucas passed him the torch.
Okay.
He's very knowledgeable in Star Wars, and usually if his name is involved, it's probably going to be pretty good.
I like a lot of the stuff that Favreau has been involved in. Actually,
yeah.
I like his sensibilities in a lot of and just a lot of the stuff that he's done. It doesn't have to be Marvel or Star Wars, or, well, I guess I should say Disney, because it's all Disney stuff. But yeah.
Did you see, what's it called? Zathura? Kind of like it was like Jumanji, but it was a space game. It's really good.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau is very much, he's like, if he prefers to try to do his special effects practically and only add the CGI when you kind of have to, which I dig that about him. He doesn't try to solve everything with CGI. So.
Yeah. It's not, the CGI is intensive, but you can't necessarily say that his movies are CGI intensive.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, and the frickin' Mandalorian looks like a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're very well done.
It's expensive to make. It's got to be.
Yeah. All right. Banter complete. Chukunk.
Chung.
Maybe I'll add the grandson Batman stuff. Stick it at the end after the song.
Okay. Alrighty, folks. Today we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at the Life Insurance Con, which originally appeared in Action Comics 29, cover dated October 1940, with an approximate sale date of August 22nd, 1940. The story is written by Jerry Siegel and arted by, I made that word up, arted, by the way.
I like it.
Jack Burnley. And all of that information, including the synopsis I'm about to read, I'm not reading it. I mean, I'm saying it off the cuff, is coming from Mike's Amazing World of Comics. Yeah, this is all me, by the way. I'm not reading any of it. This is not scripted. I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, so Lois Lane visits the home of Ms. Davis, an elderly woman, Mrs. I guess that's Mrs., right? MRS is how you say that? Mrs. Okay. Yeah, MS is Ms. Mrs. Davis, an elderly woman with Clark Kent. Lois learns that another woman, Mrs. Bradford, has died recently. Clark discovers that the woman's aspirin has been poisoned and believes the death was done for the insurance money. Investigating, the reporters visit Graham's drugstore, which sold the aspirin. Not Ounces or Pounds drugstore. It's Graham's drugstore. See what I did there? Yeah. Okay. They find no evidence as they are thrown out of the store, and they witness a hit-and-run accident in the street, which kills another woman. A mob then attacks the drugstore, which forces Superman to intervene to stop the riot. Later, Lois and Clark call on the insurance agent, Mr. Fullerton. He's angered by the allegations and throws them out. Lois returns, however, to find Tom Bruce, Mrs. Davis's neighbor and initiator of the riot, in Fullerton's office. Lois is captured, but Superman rescues her. Superman trails the Hoods while Lois confronts Fullerton again. Fullerton brings Lois to his boss, Martin, who is also the boss of the Hoods. Martin reveals he's behind the insurance scandal and he's trying to pin it on Fullerton. Superman arrives too late to save Fullerton, but he does save Lois and catches the crooks. Now, this synopsis, after having read it, is very confusing. And the story is pretty much as confusing as that, to be honest. It was not a...
Yeah.
It wasn't the most coherent of stories in Superman in the past 2 or 3 years we've been reading. It was not the frantic all over the place, but it was like the what all over the place.
Yeah, but it should have been pretty simple. I mean, it's an insurance scam. I did like the twist that the pharmacist wasn't the bad guy because, you think he is. And
well, I mean, with the name Mr. Graham, you would think that, it's him.
And we get a splash page. I think we've only had like 1 or 2 other splash pages so far,
and it applies.
Yeah.
So
splash page has something to do with the story, which is crazy. And of course, Jack Burnley. I love me some Jack Burnley. I still want Jack Burnley on one of those crazy stories, the fast-paced crazy stories, but they just seem to save him for the more pedestrian type of stuff for some reason.
Jack's not getting a good draw no pun intended, when it comes to the art on these.
It's all right. We got Tom Bruce. I love anybody that has 2 first names is always fun. Yep. And whenever you use the name Bruce, I can't help but think of Monty Python. Bruce. All right, Bruce. Tom Bruce.
I think
the Australian men whose name are Bruce.
The song that states "Don't Get Me Down," Bruce.
Yes, Bruce.
Yeah. Although I think if you actually research that, they're not saying Bruce. They're saying something else that is a completely different word. So you're like, why does it sound like Bruce? I don't know. It's
I just assumed he was yelling at Bruce Springsteen. Don't get me down, Bruce.
And Terry Ann, if you're listening, who is it that does that song? Don't get me down, I can tell you that. Bruce. Who is
ELO.
it? Is it ELO?
Yep.
Okay.
I only know that because do you remember a number of weeks back I talked about the massive playlist I was making?
Yes.
That was one of the songs on it.
Okay. So there you go. Oh, okay. She just yelled from the living room. I don't know if everybody heard her, but yeah,
yeah, I heard something.
That was her. I will say that I think I like Burnley's drawing of cars.
Yeah.
This first page here, from all of these different angles, this is a really good car that they've got Clark in. It's not skimped on really. I mean, it's a good model that they used, and he was very diligent about the different aspects of the car. So I do like that.
He has a very, I would call it a kind of a realism type of style with his art. His people look, I mean, if you're looking at the page with the car on it, that second page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panel that just has Lois and the word balloon on it. I mean, that could have been traced out of a magazine, frankly. That could be like a Greg Land type of thing going on there.
Okay, now go to the next page and look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the old lady.
Yep, same thing.
It's not overly detailed, but it's like this is a photograph, and he traced it off of the photograph just enough that you get a good image of her actual face. That it looks like a real face.
Both of those panels, literally, with the exception that they're 2 different people, are the exact same panel.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The head angle and everything, and I didn't put that together until just now. But that's
even the hand in the frame.
Does Lois have?
Lois is doing this, and the lady's doing that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But
Jack,
I mean,
what are you doing, man? You've got a picture somewhere that I've got to use this at least once in the story.
Yeah. Well, and the way he draws Clark, especially in that second page, there's the second panel from the end. Clark's driving the car. He looks like a big guy. He looks like a pretty well-muscled dude. And he's got the broad shoulders, and, he doesn't look like meek, mild. He doesn't draw him in any kind of stooped, way. So
right. Burnley believes that the glasses are enough. That's all
Yeah.
that you need to separate the two individuals. And I like the fact that, yes, Superman kind of looks like a stereotypical football linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, which makes it even more difficult to accept when he acts like such a fop, because he's this big burly dude. It's like, why are you letting him do that? So I like
he's
that
a big
aspect.
Kansas farm boy,
Yes, exactly. And
looks
that's
like
what he
the kind
looks
of
like.
guy that would have been out there throwing bales of hay.
Yes. For 12 to 15 years, working on a farm, he has the look. Yeah. And the synopsis said the a woman gets hit. It's not just a woman that gets hit. It's the neighbor of Mrs.
And what was her name? Davis.
Yes, the neighbor of Mrs. Davis, who is not keen on the insurance dudes. So she was killed in order to hush up that nonsense. So it's not in her neighbor's ear. Oh, you need to be suspicious. So they just offed her. So it's not just that she, it was some lady that was like, no, this is somebody that could be trouble, that they offed.
Yeah, because she even tells, and, Tom Bruce happens to be in the room when she says it. She basically tells Lois, you and I will get together later and I will tell you a story that will be front page news, basically.
Yep. So he's like, no, you won't. I don't know what the story is, but.
Terry, by the way, in the comments says that you can't chat when you watch the show on TV. That is true. Usually if I'm watching a live show like this on my TV, I'll have my phone also watching it at the same time.
Can chat.
Just so I can chat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Chatting on the TV. Yeah. Sorry about that. I hate to put you on a spot and have you bellow through the house, but hey, thanks for the input and the info, Terry Moore. So, and for those of you that are listening that have any interest, that's my wife. She likes to support me in most of my endeavors. So plus she does have some interest. So
yeah, not the Strangers with Paradise creator.
No, not that Terry Moore. Spelled completely different. Although my Terry may be able to draw. I'm not sure. I've never put that to the test. So we'll have to see. Kachu, here. Draw this. Draw somebody name her Kachu and see what you come up with. That's a deep dive for those Terry Moore fans. Just in case you're wondering.
I like that Lois gets herself in trouble again, and it's very much one of those cases where she purposely kind of walks into it, and she kind of lies to Clark. It's like, I'm just gonna go and get a bite to eat or something. But he knows she's gonna go do something, and so he changes to Superman, and he's watching her from up on the top of the building. And sure enough, she goes to break into that office building, and she's got a little black hat on, which she was wearing earlier, but it almost looks like that's her thief outfit, as she put a little black hat on.
Yes.
But
and she started this whole story that way too.
Yeah.
Setting up a date with Clark, showing up late because she had investigated and had put something together that she wanted to go take care of. And she's like, oh, well, why don't you just take me over to here at this address? And yeah. So she was doing that stuff.
Their relationship would be so much better if they would just tell each other the truth.
It would certainly be easier, I think, on both of them.
Yes.
No reason to lie, because then you don't have to remember what you said. You tell the truth.
Clark does the neck pinch on the bad guy, which is good because he was an old dude. You don't want to see Superman punch an old guy in the mouth.
No, throwing him against the wall
yeah.
And you certainly don't want the dude all scared falling downstairs and breaking his neck. So,
no, but this guy is going, no.
He is cringing. So look out.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe Superman is remembering, the last time somebody reacted like that, they fell to their death. Down. So I need to do something. Yeah. I need to help him out here.
Well, and the thing is, the panel where he's given the guy the neck pinch, had it not been for the narration, to me, it looks like he just chopped the guy right in the neck and the guy goes down.
That's what I thought. So it's like a carotid chop there.
Yeah. He just broke that guy's windpipe. You know?
Well, I mean, he is getting much more physical in his dealing with people.
Yeah. I don't know if there's really anything else I want to say. I kind of suspected Tom Bruce right off the bat because he comes off as a jerk.
He was out of place. And
in fact, I was really confused at first because when they introduced Tom Bruce, I didn't realize that he was in the room with them the entire time.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's her neighbor or something, right? Is that Tom Bruce, neighbor of Miss Davis, and they meet him at the door, and I just thought he was coming out of his apartment or something.
Okay, I
runs into him, and
he was like the brusque nephew of her or something. Is who he was going to turn out to be, or something like that.
And so we don't even know. I mean, I didn't even realize. Like I said, I didn't realize he was even in the same room with them until the next page. And suddenly there's this guy behind her wheelchair, and I'm like, who the flip is that?
Yep.
And then, oh, okay, that's Tom Bruce. Because he hears Lois and Clark in the bathroom. Lois is getting ready to take the aspirin. And because of his X-ray vision, he can see that there's poison in the aspirin.
It's tainted.
And so so he accidentally bumps into her, so she drops
him.
She's like, oh, you clumsy oaf, you made me drop them. And oh, look, but these aren't aspirin, they're poison. And Tom Bruce is just kind of sticking his head. Poison, you say?
What? They're what?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I suspected Tom Bruce of being the bad guy, but he definitely comes off as a cranky old man right from the beginning.
Yeah. There's something about him. It's like he's
the guy that would come out on the porch, get off my lawn, that kind of guy. Kids walking through my grass.
Which is now me, by the way. I am that dude. So I'm okay with it. I own it. It's yeah.
I'm kind of that way too, but it's less about keeping my grass protected and more just, I don't want to deal with anybody. It's, I see somebody park out on the road next to the house and right away I'm at the window going, what are these people doing? They better not be coming to the house. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Right. Why are you there? That is not where you belong. So you shouldn't be there. Yeah. Just, other than, I was going to say straightforward. The writing of the story is not necessarily straightforward. We're given some fakes and feints here and there, but it's an insurance scam, and people are oft for the insurance. You think since the aspirin is tainted, well, the pharmacist he's not involved. It's a little confusing about the what do they call it? An insurance club. My insurance club. I've never heard. I used to sell death insurance. Well, life insurance. But, the reality is, no, it's not life insurance because you don't get paid for living. So that means it's death insurance. But you can't call it that because that's kind of morbid.
Sometimes, though, you wake up in the morning and you look at the news or whatever and you're like, I guess I'm alive today. I should get some insurance for living through this crap.
But yeah, an insurance club. I guess that's, I don't know if it's the times that this was written or that is part of the scam or I don't, the concept doesn't work in my head. I don't know.
Yeah, I assume it's the times. They also have, instead of hit and run, because they use that in another
it's not hit and run.
Way back when, skip driver.
Hit skip. Now, I knew right away what that meant because I am familiar with skip being used with the concept of somebody who is a skip trace. Do you know what a skip trace is? That's whenever I hear, what is it, bounty hunter or that's not the word they typically use. But in my head, I think of the word skip trace as what they're doing. And that's, for those of you that I'm not communicating well with, that's somebody that hunts down people who have skipped on bail.
Yeah.
A skip trace.
Bail jumper.
Yeah. So, why can I not think what they're called? They're not, the TV show, the Dog
the bounty hunter. Yeah. That's what he does. Yeah.
He's a skip trace, but there's another word for it that you hear a lot of times. Yeah. I can't think of it either. Anyways. So there we go.
You'll probably wake up at like 4 a.m. and go, I got it.
Oh shit! Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I'll say
That's
when
all
I
right.
wake up.
I have started to mark. I already switched this over to say that all of our episodes are explicit. They have the potential to be explicit.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm going to start doing that with all my podcasts because I'm just like, you know what? I used to be very much, I didn't want to swear in any of my shows because my kids were little, and if they would listen to my show, I don't need to hear that. But now we cuss around them, so say shit
Somewhat.
all
I
you
mean,
want.
yeah, it's like, and for good or bad, there are that small handful of words that are acceptable pretty commonly nowadays.
Oh yeah,
The only one that I typically use, well, yeah, bounty hunter, is the F word. I'm horrible for dropping F bombs. I just because to me it's just another word.
Yeah.
I don't find offense in that word by itself the way that other people do. So
when you really think about it, the idea of a word that you can't say around other people, shit, because or fuck, I'll say it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a word, it's a word.
Yeah. It's
so
purple,
silly.
It's are you? Yeah, that's yeah.
He said purple. Who decided that these words are swear words? Who made that? Did they get together? All right, so excrement, that's okay. Yep. Shit is bad. We don't want to say that. No. Excrement sounds pretty gross to me.
Well, and it takes a lot more effort to say. Yeah. I mean,
I always bring it back to Monty Python, but there's a really good moment in a Monty Python sketch where there's a penguin on a television set, and there's something about it that makes the Graham Chapman and John Cleese, they're dressed as old ladies, makes one of them mad. And she goes, "Intercourse, the penguin." That just cracked me up.
Okay. I'm like Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, I'm the dude that when I was in college did a speech for speech class. It had to be off the cuff, and I did an off the cuff speech giving examples of how the F word can be used for all 8 parts of speech. And so that gave me the opportunity to say it many times in my speech.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty versatile word. It's the duct tape of curse words, frankly.
It kind of is. Yeah. It's you can use it anywhere, and it typically holds up. It's So
the thing about the word shit that cracks me up though is that you can kind of tell there's a moment in time on TV where, like, for example, when The Walking Dead started, they could say shit. That was like the biggest cuss word they could say. Mm-hmm. So they said it like all the time. It's like, oh my God, how many times can you use the word shit in this episode? It's funny. It's, well, we can cuss, so we've got to cuss all the time. But the only thing that we can really say is shit. So we're just going to use it all the time.
All right. That's all HBO will let us get away with. But we're going to do it.
Like, we're going to really bear down on it and say it as many times as we can.
Is that a pun? Bear down?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't even think
you didn't even realize you did it. Yeah, it's okay.
No. But here's the thing, though. On the other hand, I'm also a big fan of, again, I'm going to bring it back to Monty Python. John Cleese has always said that he's not a big fan of working blue because he thinks that it's easier to get laughs that way. It's
okay.
It's you have to be more creative to create humor without cursing. However, if you can go, and he uses Monty Python's Life of Brian as an example. You go through the entire movie without swearing, and then there's just one part in the movie where Brian tells everybody to fuck off. It is like one of the funniest moments in the movie because it's so unexpected.
Right. Yeah.
But if they had been saying the F word all the time up to them, So
So, it's an insurance scam story. It's a little bit convoluted. Superman isn't overly Superman-y. It's a very street level, almost pedestrian kind of. I mean, he didn't really have to do much Superman-y stuff, so he didn't.
it gets to the point where you think it's going to really start getting crazy because they have the big mob that comes to the pharmacy, and you think, oh, here we go, and then doesn't really go anywhere.
Superman.
It's not like the last time we saw a mob, they hung two guys from a tree in a Superman story. So
yes, indeed. That's I'm still scarred from that.
Right, the little legs dangling in the air in that comic book.
I'm not ready to really talk about that a whole lot yet, but that was
I just triggered Ed.
I have been triggered. The lynching scene in the Superman story, that was very, very scarring, impactful, very impactful. And you're right, the little wow, in a Superman. Boy, they had a point, and they were going to get it across in that story. Okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say, and I think my little earbuds are about to lose their charge. So
okay, alrighty, folks. This has been the Superman Super Show. We want to thank you for listening, and until next week, I'm Ed, and that's Steven. Ciao.
Bye. You've been listening to the Superman Super Show. Questions and comments can be directed to the Superman Super Show at gmail.com. You can follow the show on Twitter under the handle @SoupsSuperShow. That's @SUPS Super Show. And continue the conversation at the Super Show Forum at forums.justanotherfanboy.com. We also encourage you to rate the show wherever available and share this podcast with a friend. All links will be in the show notes.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
This is like the first time doing this without a freaking hat on. I keep wanting to mess with my hair. Of course,
I was going to say, I can tell you're getting annoyed.
It's in the mirror. Okay, I'll tell you what. Boom.
I'll fix that. There you
solved.
Go. Yep.
I have a new Superman hat on the way, by the way.
Cool beans. Yeah, I think the wife just told me she got me something Superman-y. I believe it was a t-shirt. We'll see when it comes in, and I'll sport it.
I got a Batman shirt, just black, yellow Batman symbol on the front of it. Okay. And my grandson turned 2 in February, and at his birthday party, he got a Batman shirt from somebody. It wasn't us. Right. But it's like kind of blue camouflage with a bat symbol on it. And so the other day we're talking to him through FaceTime, him and his mom, and he's wearing the shirt. And I said, "Oh, Dean, what's that on your shirt?" And he goes, "Batman." And I said, "That's right." And I said, "Pop's got a Batman shirt too." And I jumped up really quick and I put it on, and he thought that was the coolest thing. Pop was wearing a Batman shirt too.
Same shirt, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got him to go, "I'm Batman," which was pretty cool.
You gotta grumble it, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, let's see there. Here we go. Okay, I'm ready to go, I think.
I am rolling.
I'm ready to go. Okay. Rolling.
I don't remember this story at all, so this should be fun.
Okay.
Oh, no, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.